Okay, I'm at 8801 Foxboro Court in Kenwood, I think it's Montgomery, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. So the only access point is there's a 2-inch, but it's half cast iron when it goes down through the floor in the garage. It's coming from the sink line. That is because it's cast iron, it is too small to get my camera through at the base. So what we're doing is we're going to go through, there's a clean out in the floor in the front room in the very basement right inside the man door from the garage. There's a little storage room there, and it's right here in the front. So we're going to be going from there. There is, most of the plumbing is from the center of the room, or center of the house forward. There's a bathroom's on the right side if you're facing the house. There are no visible access points. There's probably a stack in the wall that's been drywalled over, or there's some paneling in a bedroom down there, and that may be what it is. I believe that's where the stack would be to be able to get in. It's snow on the ground. I walked around outside to see if there was any outside cleanouts. I was unsuccessful there, and so we'll be going through this floor clean out, like I said, in that front storage room, and we'll be going all the way out to the main. Barring any issues that stop us from getting out there. Based off the age of the house, I believe the house was built in the 60s. Based off what I'm seeing, I don't have that information in front of me. But it's going to be cast iron in the house, and then it should be switched to clay when it exits. I wish I could go both directions, but this clean out, as you can see, when I go in, it actually forces you to sweep. It's a sweep. It forces you to go out. You can't go both directions. A lot of newer cleanouts would be a T, will allow you to go back into the house also. So we're only going to be able to inspect from this clean out the outside lines, which is where most of the issues, where you would run into most of the issues anyway. So the main thing here is I want to make sure you know that water, the camera lens is only about a ½ an inch off the bottom of the pipe, so that's not a lot of water. Normally, you'll see these things are pretty flat. In this area, the cast iron looks like it's in pretty good shape. Doesn't have a whole lot of buildup on it. What we're going to do is I'm going to actually try to run some water in the kitchen line, make sure that in the upstairs, or the upstairs bathroom, just kind of see how much water we're getting through here. But we'll do that on the way back. So that little bit of water, like I mentioned, it's not much. It's not an issue. Should be able to overtake that fairly simple. Now, with cast iron, you always want to be careful with it because obviously it has rust on the inside, so it can very easily catch, toilet paper and stuff like that. Now, toilet paper is designed to break down, so it will break down, and disintegrate like it's supposed to. But you never want to use wet wipes or paper towels or anything like that in cast iron lines, due to the fact that they can very easily catch on the rust and cause backups pretty easily. So far, this cast iron looks really good, and I'm surprised we have not switched over to clay. So this may actually be cast iron all the way out to the main. They did this, most of the time you only see this in the late 60s, early 70s. Again, I don't know when this was made, but, and here we go. This is what I was expecting. So we got out 44 feet about before we go into the clay. And we have some roots. You can see that right there on the left. That's not a ton, and roots are not uncommon to find in clay lines. They have, as you'll notice, they have seams about every 3 feet. And so there's just a lot of chance and for root intrusion. Like I said, we should be able to see better on the pullback. This is not a lot of water. We do have quite a bit of roots at this joint, but again, it's 3 feet away. So at the very least, this will need to be cleaned. There's some more roots. Hopefully I can be able to push my way through, because this is almost in the flow line. This is about ready to cause an issue here. So hopefully I can force my camera through there a little bit. A lot of times, if it's just a little bit, I can push it. I can fight my camera through it. I think that just makes it not quite. There we go. So I was able to push through that. Hopefully we don't get any worse. We're going to try to push all the way up to the main, and then I can stop and get some locates as I pull back. Hopefully that's the last bit of roots, but at the very least you're going to need this is going to need a good cleaning. See that stuff coming in there is mainly just from where they packed the joint. If you notice what looks like a little bit of separation there, that's basically how you have a male and a female end on these pipes, and they would rotate them a little bit to get the angle they wanted. They wouldn't always use fittings, and that's what you have here. We just have them kind of angling in on the outside of the turn, kind of pull away a little bit. And now it looks like we've switched into concrete pipe. This is usually an indication that the developer, this is where the developer took over, or in this case, the sewer district would be responsible from here on out. A lot of times, the demarcation line between, the private property and the street, the developer would go through and put all the sewer mains and stuff in. They would change material again. This is turned to concrete. If you look close, you can probably see some aggregate, just a little bit of exposed aggregate from the water over the years. It is common, especially in Montgomery, that they use a lot of concrete for the sewer mains and their portion of the lateral. And we've made it all the way to the main. So, not a whole lot of pipe coming off once it gets off the property. The main is probably pretty close to the property line. Maybe on this side of the street, but out in the street. But I'm going to locate this and try to find out. It may even go out the side, being that we are in a cul-de-sac, but we'll find that out when I locate the spots for the roots. And we'll start at 85 to 86 feet here. Structurally, everything looked good. Just have, the root intrusion in those 2 to 3 joints there, and the one was pretty severe. It was about 90%. That will have to be cleaned. Again, that is something you find. It's pretty common in clay lines. They have so many joints every 3 feet, like I mentioned, that they roots, especially for some reason, they always tended to plant trees right on top of it. But yeah, so it's 10 to 13 feet off the property is how much line is off the property, and then from here in would be on private property, and the owner would be responsible. But yeah, roots are really, really common in clay, so you will have to maintenance this on a regular basis. Regular meaning every few years or so. You can kind of have it scoped every maybe after 5 years or so, just to kind of get an idea of how fast the roots are growing. There's other options. You can have it lined after it's cleaned, but that can get pretty expensive. This is usually something that if you just maintenance it every few years, every 3 to 5 years if it's done well. It'll keep this line open. And like I said, structurally, I haven't really seen any issues of any major concern. Here are the roots. So I'm going to pull through this. I'm going to stop right in the middle of it, and then I will locate right here. And this will tell us exactly where this spot is outside, and I will put a flag in. I'll put a green flag in. Mine will be a bright green. There's some old green flags that are out there. It looks like from a landscaping company or irrigation company, but mine will have the writing on it. So I'm going to pause the video here and go get a locate. Okay, so that is about 10 foot 11 deep. It's in like almost the center of the front yard, and the line is going at an angle basically towards the center of the backyard or your front yard. And so I'm going to pull back, and we'll mark also the front. You can see this, how big of a root ball that is. And there's no telling. I hope there's not any structural issues behind this. You may want to have it inspected again after the cleaning, just to make sure that there's no major structural issues behind this root ball here, because it is, a foot long. Now, being that this is all tiny roots, they're all finger roots, I don't see anything major, so they're probably small roots that got in and expanded, but I can't obviously be 100% on that because I can't see what's behind all those roots. We will also mark, because here's another pretty large root ball. And these are close enough to the flow line that, actually I'm going to double check this real quick. This is 54 feet. Let's see where we get back to. First, there we go. I'm going to go get another locate here. There, the first one, first root ball here, just to show that it's between these two marks out in the front. So I'm going to pause the video again, locate this spot, and then we will finish the inspection. Okay, so this is about 10 foot deep, and it's only obviously a few feet off the other one. Next connection or so. So I'm running some water, but it's not coming through real clear. You can see it moving slow, but I'm going to also go run some water in the upstairs bathroom. ran some water and flushed some toilets. Just trying to get a look at where this where the water's coming in. I think I'm actually going to push out and see if there's a tie-in where this may go outside and come around. Maybe it comes around the house. Check and see. So yeah, let's see. Water come through here again. I have flushed the toilet. I think it's starting to come through now, maybe. There we go. Just took a minute for it to probably build up. Here we go. We're getting a pretty good flush of it now. We'll keep this running as we pull back. So we've already seen all this pipe. That way we can kind of see hopefully where this stuff comes in. It should come in before the clean out, so it should be flowing my entire time I pull back. So this is increased water, so that's why this is filled up like this. And it's not, as you can see, it's not filling the pipe. Roots. First one. It's actually more like, so it's two sections, about 46 feet out to 54. Three different sections. Here we are back into the cast iron. You can see it's free flowing through this cast iron, which is good. You can see even with all this water flowing, as I pull back, it's still not, over top of the camera lens, which is really good. And that's what we want to see. Should be getting close to the clean out here. Here we are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, because I am all the way out, so you can see I'm going to pull it out there is the clean out. But I'm going to leave this sitting here for a minute. I'm going to go shut off the bathroom and make sure, see if I can see where the kitchen is coming through. So again, I'm going to pause the video for a second. Okay, so I turned off the other sink, and I just wanted to verify that there's some water coming through here. It's slow, coming through the sink line. So I just wanted to make sure that it was flowing in that direction. It's just not a whole lot of water from the kitchen sink. Kitchen lines are usually pretty tough, especially with the cast iron. It looks like they've had a clean out added to it. Kitchen lines tend to get blocked up with grease and food goo. It's usually much nastier than any other line in the house, just because of all the stuff that goes down. And it does have a garbage disposal, so a lot of times they'll, people put stuff down there that they're not supposed to, and so it builds up with food chunks and everything. So it might be a good idea to have that run through, just to be sure that the cast iron's open if they're going to come out and clean the main line, since we are unable to inspect from that point out. Just might be a good thing to have done while they're here, just to be sure that kitchen line's open. It just seems like it's running slow. It's not. It is running, but for the amount of water that's going through, it seems like it's just running a little bit slow coming through here. So yeah, I'm just going to suggest a cleaning to get the roots out, from about 40, I think it was about 47 feet to like 54 feet. And then I'm also going to recommend that they, maybe if it's, since they're here, to maybe run through that kitchen line just to be sure, since we are unable to inspect it, and it does seem like it's running slow. So, but other than that, the line looked good structurally, other than those small spots that I couldn't see behind the roots. And so a good cleaning should do the trick. But if there's any worry about the structural issues behind those spots of roots, could do a re-inspection just to verify that those spots are still in one piece and we don't have a hole in the pipe. So, but that will end the inspection for 8801 Foxboro Court, and I believe this is Montgomery, Ohio.